Do you guys have a blanket?
I have this one, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to have it for the beginning pose, but it's an option. We're actually going to begin down on our backs. But before you go down, I want you to take your blanket and roll it into a long, like, sausage roll. So, okay. And then what we're going to do with that, by the way, welcome to Heart and Soul Yoga with Sharon. And we're getting ready for our restorative class tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our ankles with that bolster, okay? Or with that blanket, sorry. And then we're going to bring the feet into butterfly position. So if you don't have the blanket or something to wrap the feet in, that's okay. You can just go in regular supine butterfly, okay? And then once you have your feet kind of cushioned and wrapped with your blanket, then we're going to slowly begin to lower down to our backs. So just be very careful, very mindful. And we'll start down in supine butterfly on our back. So you can also use a neck pillow or another rolled blanket for your neck if that feels good. So we want to get kind of comfy here. We're going to be here for a little while. So just start to settle in. So the practice tonight is called Let Go and Find Peace. So we're going to try to let go of anything that is stumbling you, anything that's bothering you, anything that you feel like you just need to get it out so that you can find peace within yourself. So we're just going to pause here with our nice gentle breath. Continue to be still in this pose. We're going to slightly deepen our breath here. So we're going to see if we can take that breath down towards the belly. Feel it go through the heart center, down through the belly. And use the exhale to slowly let go of whatever it is you need to let go of. Nice deep breath into the belly. Nice slow exhale. Trying to let go. And we'll just maintain that slightly deepened breath here. Just enjoying this beautiful butterfly pose. We'll pause here for just a couple more breaths. And very slowly, very mindfully, begin to bring the knees towards the ceiling, the feet to the mat, and just kind of slide that blanket off to the side. And just pause here with the knees up to the ceiling, feet to the mat. And we're going to slowly walk the feet out as wide as the mat. And then we're going to let the knees and the thighs relax in on each other. Kind of let the feet roll towards the insoles to allow the legs to completely relax on each other. And if it feels comfortable, take the arms and give yourself a nice little self-hug here. So if the self-hug isn't comfortable, you can leave the arms out to the sides if that feels better. And we're just going to pause here for several rounds of breath. Continuing to use that exhale to let go so that you can find peace within. Keep that breath flowing. Keep using that exhale to let go. We'll pause here for just a couple more breaths. We'll slowly release the arms back out to the side if you haven't already. And we'll slowly let the knees release back to the ceiling, bringing the feet back in alignment with the sit bones. Pause here. We're going to slowly roll to one side and pause on that side for a breath. And then we're going to slowly use the arms and the hands to bring the body upright. And just pause once you're upright here. And then we're going to make our way to tabletop. So finding your way to tabletop. We're going to make sure that the knees are directly underneath the hips, and the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. And if you have tender knees, you can take that rolled up blanket and you can use it underneath your knees as well for a little cushion if you need that. So we're just going to pause here with a slight gaze down towards the mat as we press into the floor with the hands and we pull in the belly ever so slightly. And just pause here, take a couple breaths. And let's do a little cat-cow movement here. So we're going to inhale, let the chin lift up, belly drops towards the floor. And as you exhale, you're going to bring the chin towards the chest, arch the back, feel the belly button press into the spine. Inhale, lifting back out with the belly dropping. Exhaling, bringing the chin to the chest and arching the back. And let's just continue with that, moving with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Continuing to use that exhale to let go, release, whatever you need to continue to find peace within. The next time you exhale, make your way to neutral tabletop, and we'll pause and meet there. So if you have a block handy and possibly an eye pillow, if you have that handy. If you don't have the eye pillow handy, that's fine. So we're going to come into puppy pose, and I'm going to offer the option to rest the head on the block here. And I like to put my eye pillow on the block just to give it a little extra cushion. Or if you have a blanket, you can put a blanket on the block. You don't have to use the block, but it is an option for puppy pose. So for puppy pose, we're going to leave the knees and the legs right where they are. And then we're going to slowly walk the arms down, letting the heart center release down. And then we're going to find the head resting on the block to allow the arms to relax out. You can totally do this pose without the block, just letting the head and the heart center melt completely down. So find whatever option works best to you. And we're going to pause here for several breaths. Keep that breath flowing in and out. We're going to pause here for 2 more breaths. And slowly, mindfully begin to let the hands press into the floor, allowing the body to move slowly back to tabletop. And if you use the block, just set it off to the side. We're going to slowly begin to lower down to our belly. So whatever feels good here, lower down. And we're going to start by letting the head rest on stacked hands. Just pausing here, feeling the peace within yourself that you are building by letting go. Slowly, mindfully, let the body lift up ever so slightly. We're going to bring the elbows near the chest level, forearms down, fingers nice and wide, pointer fingers pointing to the top of the mat. And we're going to start by tucking in the chin here. So this kind of is Sphinx pose, but we're going to start with the head tucked in here. The legs can be apart or they can be together, depending on what feels good to you. And then we're going to slowly let the head lift up, looking forward. And we're just going to pause here in Sphinx pose. Each exhale, see if you can feel the hips melt into the mat just a little bit more. Let's take 2 more breaths here in Sphinx pose. With your next exhale, tuck the chin in. Pause here. And then we're going to slowly let the body lower back down to the belly, bringing the hands around to stack the head on. Pause here. Take a couple more breaths here. We're going to make our way to fallen tree. So this is where the 2 blocks for the arms might feel good. And if you don't have the 2 blocks, you can just let the arms out into a T position on the ground. So if you have your 2 blocks, you're going to place the arms on the 2 blocks, letting the crown of the head, the forehead, release down. And we're going to slowly slide the left foot up towards the body, towards the armpit, bending the knee up as far as feels good here. Pause and breathe here. The other thing, you can use the eye pillow to rest your forehead on if that feels a little bit better. Moving that breath through your body here. Keep releasing and letting go. We'll take 2 more breaths here on this side. And we'll slowly let the left leg release back down. We'll pause here at center. And then slowly let the right leg bend up. Find what feels good here. Pause and breathe. Keep breathing. Keep letting go. Keep finding peace. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And we'll let that right leg begin to release down. If your arms are on blocks, slowly release those down to the ground. And bring the hands underneath the forehead to allow it to rest there. Very slowly, very mindfully begin to lift the body. We're going to slowly make our way to tabletop. Pause here at tabletop. And then whatever feels comfortable to you, maybe it's sitting back on the feet so that you can find your bolster and a block. So we're going to set the bolster up on a slight incline here. You might also, if you need a little more cushion or a little more lift, you can use your blanket for that as well. So we're going to let the body tabletop over the bolster once you have it set up. Take those knees really wide here. And then we're going to let the hips relax back. So this is where you're going to need to determine how much height you need, because you want the hips to release back. You don't want them suspended up in the air here. So you might need a little bit higher of a prop like here to allow the body to relax down on. But you want the hips to release down into the feet. So whatever that might look like to you. Beautiful. Keeping your eyes closed. Settle into your breath. Continue with your breath here. Continue with your releasing, your letting go. Continuing to find your peace. Take a few more breaths here. Slowly begin to release the body upright. If you used a blanket, just set that off to the side. Take the incline down, setting the back off to the side. I'm going to turn the bolster wide on the mat. And then we're going to bring the hips right up. So we'll start with the right hip right up next to the bolster. The legs can drape out into deer pose, or they can extend straight out, or one leg straight, one leg bent, whatever feels good here. And then we're just going to slowly let the body drape over the bolster. Let the right arm relax down. Let the head rest on the right shoulder. The left arm can just stay draped along the long side body of the left side. It can come to the bolster, or it can reach up overhead, finding the right hand. The other option you can do with the block is to allow the block to be placed in between the hands. So find what feels good here to you, and let your breath go where it needs to go here. We'll pause here for just a couple more breaths. We'll use the left hand pressing into the bolster to slowly let the body slide up. And pause here once you're upright. And then we'll begin to transition to the opposite side. So whatever way works for you, taking the left hip to the bolster, letting the legs relax out in whatever method feels good to you here. Slowly let the left side drape over the bolster, letting the left arm release down to the ground. Head rest on the left shoulder. Right arm either relaxes along the right side body, the hand relaxes onto the bolster, or the arm releases up overhead. Again, clasping the hands or using a block in between. Find what feels best to you. Settle into the pose. Settle into your breath.
settle into the peace you are building within yourself. We'll take a few more breaths here. We'll slowly bring the right hand to the bolster and allow that hand to press into the bolster to slide the body upright. Pause once you're upright. And then we're going to slowly turn the back to the bolster. And we're going to come into a heart opener. So you might want to block at the top for your head to rest on if that feels good. So you're just going to let the shoulders drape over the bolster. So the head can be supported by the bolster, or you can go back a little bit and let the block support the head. The legs can relax straight out. They can go to butterfly if you prefer that. And just let the arms release out. Palms facing the ceiling. Feeling the heart open up. Allowing that opened heart space to continue to let go and find room in your heart space for your peace that you're building within. Find your breath. Pause. Restore. We'll pause here for a few more breaths. Slowly, mindfully bring the arms in towards the heart center. Letting the hands just kind of rest on the belly here. Pause here for a couple breaths. From here, we're going to slowly roll to one side by bringing the feet to the mat and helping the body to release to that side. And press the body up ever so carefully. And then you can begin to make your way down for your Shavasana pose, whatever that might look like. Maybe it's a bolster underneath the knees. You can slide the bolster around. You can turn the body around, whatever feels good. Blankets, eye pillows, all that good stuff. Have it close by for you so that you can get settled in. And begin to make your way down for your Shavasana. Using all those beautiful comforts. Beginning to find stillness in your body. All the bones and muscles becoming very heavy here. Melting, relaxing, letting go, and finding your peace here in your rest. Slowly bring your breath back into your awareness. Feeling the peace that you have acquired. for your rest. Slowly add some small bodily movements, fingers and toes. Slowly bring yourself back to your space. And as it begins to feel right in your body, slowly roll to one side. And pause on that side for a breath or two. And then whenever it feels right in your body, use those arms and hands. Slowly press the body upright. And make your way up to a comfortable seat. Release the hands down to the sides, palms facing the ceiling. Inhale, release the arms up overhead, bringing the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands through to the heart center. And bow ever so slightly to yourself. And thank yourself for allowing this beautiful hour of rest, of letting go, and of finding peace within. And I thank you so much for joining me. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you all for joining in. And as always, be well.